Are you sitting in a space where you are struggling with anxiety? Do you feel like a prisoner to the cycles of depression? Do you feel stuck in your life and feel frustrated and lost, but yet you know there is so much more on the other side of this mental breakdown? I want to hold your hand through this therapeutic life healing journey. I will help you navigate emotional healing, spiritual growth, and taking action so you can align your mind, body, and spirit to completely transforming your life. You are worthy of the life of your dreams, of stepping into your power and experiencing your breakdown as your breakthrough. Hey, I'm Adit. I'm a therapist, a mindset coach, and I want to partner with you so we can heal your life together. Welcome back to Therapeutic Life Healing with me, Adit, your host. I'm so glad you're here today. We are going to dive in today's episode, which is going to be all about some signs that you know you are on your healing journey and growing. Sometimes we can get really stuck in not think that we are growing, and sometimes taking a zoom out and looking at it almost kind of like a helicopter perspective over your life and seeing that you are changing, you are growing, you are healing. And sometimes getting those reminders that that's the path you're on is so exciting to just continue to feel confident to keep going. So before we dive in, I just want to thank you all for tuning in from all around the world. I see you tuning in from so many awesome places in the world that I wish I could go visit right now. And I thank you so much for taking time out of your busy, productive lives to pause and really invest in yourself and your healing and growth journey and tune in and see how these episodes can really begin to help you shift your mindset, shift your mood, and lean more into the goals you have set for yourself and the vision that you have for your life so that you can feel more fulfilled. And if you'd like to go deeper this year and invest in yourself on your healing journey, send me an email at hello@aditc.com. It's also in the show notes, and we can have a breakthrough coaching session, and it's virtual, and we can kind of roadmap out what your healing journey can look like and how to best set yourself up for success in 2022. All right, friends, let's go ahead and dive in today's episode. So some signs that you are healing, that your healing is in progress and you are growing from your experiences. I want to remind you that you, by listening to this podcast, is already a sign in of itself that you are someone who is investing time in your mind, your body, your spirit, and taking time out to be intentional with it and investing in yourself. And so this is already a sign. If you've made it this far, celebrate yourself. How about that? All right. So one of the signs that I really want you to take into consideration is when you stop taking things so personally. Right? I mean, we all from time to time can still take things personally in our relationships or in a situation, maybe at work. But when you've really done the inner work on yourself, you really notice that you start thinking about maybe some other alternatives of why maybe whatever the situation is and it didn't go in the way that you had hoped. But you don't take that personal. So if someone says no to an invitation you sent, you don't take it personal. You maybe begin to explore the why. Like, oh, maybe they are, at this time really busy with X, Y, and Z. And so I don't need to think that they dislike me and that's why they're not showing up. So you begin to take things less personally, whether it's at home, at work, just in general in life. You consider all the other options before really taking it to heart that something is wrong with you or the relationship, or you get mad at the other person. You just take it to heart. Instead, you kind of brush it off and you're like, okay, well, yeah, no problem. That sounds good. Maybe next time, right? You don't take it so personal if someone sets a boundary with you. If someone gets promoted at work and you didn't, you evaluate instead, like what maybe that was about. And maybe it is something that, is personal, that's out of your control, but you just don't let it sit there. You don't allow yourself to just stay in that place of feeling upset and allowing it to just drain your energy on why whatever the situation is. You kind of just allow it to be, accept it, and move on with your life and continue to grow and enjoy your own life and not let it just keep you up at night. That's a huge sign, not taking things personally. Another sign is you learn to respond instead of react. Oftentimes, when something happens that we're upset about, we react in the moment. We lash out. We're impulsive with our words, our actions, our behavior, and then we regret it later. That is a sign that when you take a step back, that your healing is when you respond. When you take a moment to take a deep breath and you just kind of like, okay, so this thing just happened, and your mind doesn't go into this hyperactive place and you're living in fight or flight. And instead, you're able to see clearly what you need to do in that moment. Yes, it sucks, whatever it is, but you don't allow it to get the best of you, and then you act out of character, and then you regret whatever it is that you said or did, or whatever impulsive behavior kind of followed that. You take a moment to take a deep breath, maybe walk away from the situation and come back and then go from there. That is a huge sign of healing and of growth. Another sign is that you easily maintain a healing mindset. This is something that you put your money behind, your time behind, you financially, and really think about investing in yourself. You put your money where your mouth is. You really take the time and effort to look at all the parts of your life that deserve your time, and you invest at the gym, or you invest in a coach, you invest in therapy, you invest in books, you invest in spending time listening to podcasts. You just begin to really prioritize healing and growing. And so it just becomes easy. It just becomes a lifestyle at that point. It's not taking up a lot of effort, right? It's effortless. It almost gets to a point you just enjoy it. You're like, yeah, I'm reading this book. I'm going to therapy this week. I have my, coaching session. I have my gym class or my yoga class, like whatever it is. You just easily have found this place where you are now almost, it's almost kind of like automatic, right? Like it's like brushing your teeth. You just have your routine down. Another sign of healing. You stop glorifying stress and busyness. When you stop being so fixated on telling everybody how busy you are, or just being kind of caught up, even if you're not busy, in like, oh, I'm just so busy, I'm so busy. It's like kind of this frantic energy that isn't intentional, and it's just scattered, and it just feels, it doesn't feel good in the body. It just feels like it's buzzing like a bee or like a fly that's just like buzzing like nonstop. Instead, you just kind of see like, start paying attention to people around you at work who are like, I'm just so busy, I'm so busy. And it's like, okay, you take a step back and you realize that you don't want to glorify being busy. You don't want to be the last one out the door. You don't want to be, working over the weekend, and you don't see that as a badge of honor. And trying to one up, people at work sometimes one up each other. I was the last one to leave. I came in this early, and almost kind of this culture of being busy is working hard, and that's not true. And you start to see through that, and you stop glorifying that stress and busyness as a badge of honor and means you're working hard. And you're like, I'm not feeding into that mindset. I'm not feeding into that culture anymore. Another sign is that you understand the mind and body connection and spirit. You really begin to see that as a holistic experience, that mind, body, spirit, they all connect. And it's important for you to invest in those areas in your life to really bring this balance to your life. And you see the ways that not doing it kind of throws you off balance, and then you're like, oop, okay, got to do my thing again and bring me back to that balance state. So for example, it could be, you haven't been out in nature for a while, and you're like, oh, I got to get to this hike this weekend, or I take myself to the beach, or I got a therapy session I need to make sure I go to, not cancel, things like that you really start realizing, this like routine of mind, body, spirit connection goes a long way for me. And I'm continuing to prioritize that. And I see when one thing is off, if I eat bad for a week and I'm just feeding myself junk food, that I feel that effect. And I know that I need to reset next week because I don't feel good. You're so sensitive to it now. You realize and see that your mind, your body, your spirit are so connected. So those things really become heightened for you in your healing and growth journey. Another sign is positive self-talk. It outweighs the negative self-talk. And it's not to say you never have this critical voice, because we all do, but this positive self-talk, this celebration and honoring of your journey and where you're at and what you've overcome and where you're going, even if you have an off day, you're not beating yourself up like you used to. That is a huge sign of growth and healing. Another sign is that self-love and self-trust just become second nature. It kind of goes hand in hand with that positive self-talk. You realize that you're worthy of, joy. You're worthy of people treating you respectfully, kindly. You begin to trust yourself, trust your intuition, trust your decisions. And it just becomes this second nature. You don't second guess yourself anymore. You're kind of like, okay, yeah, no, I got this. It's that kind of attitude. Another sign is that you no longer feel the need to blame and deflect. And, whether it's blaming other people or deflecting or avoiding a situation, that you just face it head on. And you no longer feel scared or feel like the fear to avoid is taking power and control. And that you don't need to blame other people for whatever the situation is, that you really begin to take that accountability. That's a huge sign of healing and growth, and just really also an empowered stance to say like, yeah, I do have a choice here. I do, I do take active action in my life. I don't let things just happen to me. Life isn't just happening to me. I play an active role in it. And I do have choices here. I can make different choices. And it's a much more empowered stance. And that you reduce your blame on other people, because people aren't mind readers. But if we kind of stay in that place of like, oh, they should have known better, then we're kind of giving our power away to other people, and we just stay stuck in blaming others for a life that we might feel miserable about. So really, healing and growth comes from this place of taking accountability, and you no longer feel that desire to just blame others or avoid or deflect. Another sign is that you embrace challenges as learning opportunities, especially mistakes too. So if you make a mistake, if you go through a challenging situation, that you really see it as an opportunity to grow, or conflict. Let's say you're arguing with your partner, or there's an argument with a friend, or whatever it is, that a disagreement, that you see that as an opportunity to go deeper into the relationship and further get stronger, or come out of it more understanding and take away a lesson. Like, you don't really see these challenges or these mistakes as something that will break you or break the relationship, but instead it kind of comes with this like, okay, I'm going to take this situation, take this challenge. I might not like it, right? And that's not the point here. The point is, am I going to take the perspective and the mindset shift, learning something from this experience? All right, a few more signs here of healing and growth. What does that look like in action? So a few more that I want you to take away and pay attention to which ones have so far resonated with you, and write them down so that you can look at that and add to this list. Another sign is that you have a healthy relationship with your emotions, that you don't stuff them down and pretend they're not there, that you realize you're a whole person with a whole range of emotions and experiences. And, if you feel down one day, that doesn't mean anything's wrong with you, that you're going through something, and that you allow yourself to go through whatever that is, and that you're going to come back out of it. And then when you are in a good place and you're joyful or happy and energized, that, that you embrace that too. You don't let anything take away that joy from you. You know you're deserving of it. So you realize that you're a human having a human experience is what I like to say. Another sign is that you just take, again, responsibility for your feelings, for your healing, your growth, and it's this empowered experience, this like lens of, I got this, I have choices, I can make different choices. It's again, moving from feeling disempowered and blaming others or blaming a situation and taking a stance of, okay, what do I want to do about this? And taking responsibility moving forward. If you were in the wrong, you take accountability, you apologize, you say, hey, what I did was not cool. I'm so sorry. I take accountability. Here's how I'm going to do different next time. And you actually do different next time, that your actions match your words and vice versa. And lastly, all of that really yields to you're more self-aware mentally, emotionally, physically, that you become more of a conscious person of how you are coming to really live your life and intentional with it. And also the impact you have on other people in your life, and realizing that, the more self-aware you are, the more that you have control over your relationships in your life, and that not everything is going to be rainbows and sunshine because you're self-aware, but that you're more at inner peace, that the speed bumps, this analogy of like the speed bump, you can kind of foresee it coming up. And so you start to slow down. You don't just go full speed, go over that speed bump, and it feels like a hard hit. That is maybe the analogy I want you to take away. When we haven't really done the inner work, we haven't really looked at in our life experiences and our actions, taking accountability, it could feel like that jarring speed bump that we're just full speed ahead. We hit the gas, or we're going the same speed and we just hit it, and it's a hard hit. The car takes a beating, right? So thinking of yourself as that car, and just kind of going full speed when you're not healing and growing, it feels that way. But when you are on this path of self-awareness and investing in yourself and not making excuses anymore, that you really just start to set aside time to take care of your mind, your body, your spirit, and start small. Even the smallest step eventually leads to big impact. And when you do that, then you foresee that speed bump. So you start to slow down, and it becomes a soft, just bump versus a hard, uncontrollable impact. Those are the differences between healing in progress and growth in progress. So if that stands out to you, if that resonates, this episode resonates with you, I want you to take a moment to really honor your journey and how far you have come. Take a moment to take a step back, be that helicopter overview of your life, and just look at all the ways that you have changed, you have evolved, you have grown, you have healed, you've come so far from where, the past was. You're a more conscious, aware person. And whether it's listening to this episode or listening to other podcasts, incorporating healing books, self-help books, going to therapy, going to life coaching, going and moving your body, working out, whatever it is, you're continuing to do that and invest in yourself. So celebrate that, honor your journey, and write down anything else that comes to mind. The ones that resonated with you, I want you to write them down, and anything else that comes to mind as part of your healing and growth journey. And if you're stuck wondering, well, none of that resonated, I actually am on the other side. Well, I don't want you to feel like there isn't a choice here. You have a choice to also invest in yourself and invest in your healing, and start small. Start listening to these episodes, maybe go back to the beginning and start working your way through. Tune into some other healing, growth, self-development podcasts, pick up some books. I share all of that information in really all my podcast episodes, I share resources or information, and just start there. Really. Start small. You could reach out, send me an email. If you have some time, we can connect and see if I'm the right person to support you. And if not, if it doesn't work out, that is okay. I do not take it personal. In fact, it has to work out both ways. I'll have to be also ready to invest my time with you on your journey and see if I'm the right match for you. And if not, I will refer you to somebody else or give you some other alternatives to turn to. But if you are, then let's do it. Let's work together and really get 2022 off the ground for you and shift mindset, shift into healing and growth mode, because we don't have time to waste. Life is precious, and you are worthy and deserving of taking time out to really feel alive in your life and feel fulfilled. It's so important to really get ourselves to a place where we are deserving and believe that we are deserving of that. So with that, friend, I wish you a wonderful day, a wonderful healing journey and growth journey. May you honor it and continue to be on it. Celebrate yourself and see how far you have come. And we'll see you here next week. Take good care of yourself and take good care of each other. Thank you so much for listening to the Therapeutic Life Healing Podcast. If you found this episode helpful, please take a moment right now and think of one friend you can share your biggest aha moment from this episode. And if you haven't already, please leave me a review. I read each and every single one of them. I know you're someone who values helping others, and by taking these actions, you help me help more people. And as a thank you, I would love to send you my free swirl quiz to help you discover your unique life balance and boundaries. You can access this free quiz by going to aditc.com and signing up. I hope you find the moments of peace throughout your week you so deserve. Be well, friend, and see you next Friday.